welcome back to the Ultra Young Podcast. If you can tell, it is just me today. There's no Russ, which is a bummer, but we will get him on for another episode, so stay tuned. But if you're watching this right now, you know what that means. The 100-miler, complete, finished, let's go. I'll add a clapping sound in the video, but I did it. I finally did it. This is super awesome. I mean, tons of content. This is seriously like the coolest thing I have done and ever will do. So I'm real excited to talk about this. And if you can tell, throughout the other podcasts, I've probably been pretty like, I don't know, not scared in a way, but nervous talking about it because I was nervous if I'd finish or not. I mean, it's like a 30% finish rate for the 100-miler, and that's for people who are super good runners. So I was definitely nervous even bringing it up, but it's finished now, and now I love talking about it. It makes me happy because there's no stress about it. It's done. So I think I'll just start right ahead. We're going to talk about kind of before going up there and then getting to the house and then the day before, night before, morning of, and probably through the start of the race. And then next episode will be the end of the race and just kind of what to expect. So I gotta think. It's been a little bit. It's been about a month. So we left on a Thursday night, got up there real late, and then pretty much immediately went to sleep. And then the next morning, got up. We kind of just relaxed. Like, that's all we did. I did some stretches. I did some stuff just to kind of prepare myself. But, yeah, we didn't do much. We checked out part of the race course to kind of scope out what we had. We went over last checks on the food, on if we were all prepared. But other than that, it was just kind of eat well, get well rested, and, and then we had to sign in. And sign in was interesting because we went down there, and I'm looking around, and it's like every single person looks like they know how to run. And I'm just there looking goofy. And it was kind of intimidating because everyone there think they're just absolute beasts. And then there's me, and I was talking to this one lady, and she's like, "Oh, is this your first 100?" And she goes, "No, this will be my 10th." And I was like, I literally almost started crying. I didn't know why, but I was like, "Are you kidding? 10 hundreds?" And oh my gosh, I was crazed. But yeah, so we got my bib number, 162, I think that's my bib number. And we just got that, went back to the house. I did some more stretches. We played foosball. There's a little foosball thing at the house. And went to bed. I tried to go to bed early, so I got in my bed at 9:30, hoping to go to sleep at 9:30. I ended up going to sleep just before 11, I think. Tried not to look. I tried to just go to bed, but I couldn't, sadly. But I tried, so that's what matters. And then I had my alarm set for, I want to say, 5 in the morning, because race started at 6:30. Yeah, man, I'm all jumbled. Yeah, I wanted it at 5 in the morning, so I got up at 5, did some stretches. I ate some breakfast. I got a lot of food in. And prepared, my pack was prepared the night before, so pretty much just put it on. And I went, and we drove there, and on our way to the race course, or the starting line, we took a couple wrong turns. We didn't put in the map. And by the time we had got there, I opened the car door, and I hear, 3, 2, 1, hundreds, yeah. And the hundreds had just started, and I was just out of the car door. So I ran to the starting line and then started. So I started the race in last place. So, it's only up from there. And then it just started, and all you do is move. It's super weird feeling because you know you're going to be doing that for the next at least day, but you just start moving slowly but steadily. And I had my headphones in. It was a little cold, but not bad. I'm just moving. It's kind of sandy, so I'm not really excited about that. And then I met this guy named O'Neill. And man, O'Neill was that guy. He saved me. So at the end of mile 1, I met O'Neill. And my first mile was way faster than I wanted it to be. I did like a 9-minute mile, and I was like, oh, crap. What am I doing here? I'll be pissed at myself later for that. So I was mad. But then I met O'Neill, and me and O'Neill started running, and he's telling me about himself. I'm telling him about myself. He's freaking out that I'm a 17-year-old. I'm freaking out that he is just O'Neill. He's just an awesome guy. And then while talking to O'Neill, another guy came up named Ben. So we started talking to Ben. So us three ran for the next like 5-6 miles together, just moving, which was super nice because it just takes your mind off everything. I was like, oh man, look at us. We're at mile 7 already. I didn't even notice. So shout out Ben and O'Neill. They saved me there. And then we got to our first very mini slot canyon. Like, it wasn't even barely considered a slot canyon. And we ran through that. Oh, that was cool. Oh, that's nice. Then we got to the first aid station. That rocked. I got some food there. And then it was like 2-mile run in sand to Antelope Canyon. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And just then, a little drizzle started coming down. So it started raining a little bit. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I just started moving. By this point, O'Neill stayed at the aid station a little longer, and Ben was real fast at the aid station. We kind of split up there. I put my music back in, and I just started going. And once again, I don't totally know what I was listening to at this point. I just had a major playlist. If you guys want it, it's really not that good of a playlist, but if anyone wants it, you can feel free to ask. It pretty much is like consists of Big Time Rush, Britney Spears, man, I can't even tell you. There's some totally random music in there that just gets me, it just helps me. So there's that. But yeah, put it in, started running, and I just kind of went. And I passed a lot of people on this section somehow. I guess I was in the zone, I guess you call it. And I just went, started going. This is like mile 8, 9, and then boom, Antelope Canyon. I was like, let's go. Super cool. Finally got there. And it was like a quarter mile long. I was like, what? I thought it was going to be like a mile long canyon. And I get there. No, quarter mile. There's that. But it was a really, really cool quarter mile. So that's okay. But just a very little bit disappointing. But right before we entered Antelope Canyon, it kind of started to rain a little harder. That means the sand got packed in a little more, which is nice. And by the time we got out of Antelope Canyon, I was like, okay, I'm going to take another one of these energy gels. I tried to take it and immediately threw up on the side. I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Because I had 2 goals. One was don't throw up. And 2 was eat the gels. I just broke both my goals on like mile 10 and a half. Oh, I was so mad. But I just kept moving. All I could think about was like, oh crap, what am I going to do? No gels, oh crap, my legs hurt, oh crap. It was not a good place. And I'd just gone past Antelope Canyon, which was like the coolest part. So I kept going. It's kind of this walk-run type thing, walk-run. And then we got to go back on that 2-mile sand we just came from. And it's like, you are kidding me. And now it's starting to rain a little harder. And I'm in my t-shirt and shorts. My shorts it's a fun fact. This is crazy. But my running shorts, they're actually a swimsuit. A really cheap $8 swimsuit I bought online 2 years ago. That when I started to get back into running, I was like, well, crap, I need shorts. I don't have any shorts. All I had was sweatpants. So I had to, and I was like, I don't want to buy shorts because I had a job, but I didn't want to spend money. So I go ravaging through my closet, and I saw those swimsuit, and I was like, bing, cut out the inside liner of my swimsuit, boom, perfect pair of running shorts, and they work. I wore them for the 50, and I wore them for the 100. They're perfect. They're not perfect, but they're my perfect. And yeah, but I'm cold because all I have is a short and t-shirt on. So I'm running, just going, and I'm listening to my music, but it's kind of getting hard because of the rain, but I don't really care. I really want to listen to it. I keep going. I talked to a couple people here and there, but not for long. And for the next, like, honestly, like the next 8 to 10 miles, I just kind of zoned out. Like, trying to think back on it, I don't even remember. It just so long ago, and I can't even explain it. If you want to know what it feels like, go to 100 miles, you'll get it then. But yeah, I just kept moving. I remember it was a lot of sand, some hills, and just that. There was this one person at one of the aid stations. It was the worker. I think they had like I don't know what, one of the high schools, their sports was like doing a fundraiser, I'm guessing, and they had one of the aid stations up, and there was this really, really cute girl there, but I was like sweaty and running. It was terrible timing, but yeah, that's a sad story. I finished, but that's a downer. I didn't get to talk to her anymore. I think that was mile 16. And then we had 5 more miles in all sand, if you could have guessed, to mile 20, which was the aid station where I first met my dad and Jim. And I made it there. And I'm passing people. I'm looking around. I'm like, am I in first place? And I'm pretty sure I was closer to last place than I was to first place. So got a little ahead of myself there. But, I'm just going. And I finally met my dad, and then that is where I'm going to cut this episode off. You're going to have to hear the last half, not even half, the last 4/5 of this race in a later episode. But thanks for tuning in. Next episode's going to be epic. Thanks for tuning in. See you later. So, I met my dad and Jim. I got some muffins because I love me some banana muffins, so I ate a bunch of those. And then I drank some water, and I told my dad about me throwing up, and he was like, are you kidding me? That was like our one plan. We both kind of had the same mindset here, except for I had just run 20 miles, so I was a little more tired. But he's like, okay, we'll figure this out. And they sent me off to do the next 10-mile loop. So now I have a 10-mile loop straight back to where I just met him. I'm like, I got this. I get to go Horseshoe Bend. I get to go through Slot Canyon. This is going to be cool. And then about a mile into it, I was like, this sucks. I'm stubbing my toe on every rock. We transitioned from sand to slick rock, which I thought would be better, but it was so much worse. I'm like stubbing my toe on slick rock. It's raining. I'm cold. I'm just miserable. My knee starts hurting, like bad, like to the point where I can't even like bend it. So I'm running with like a straight knee. I look terrible for being at mile 21, but I try to forget that. So these next 5 miles of that aid station were a nightmare. I'm just dying. I probably looked like I just ran 100 miles when I was only on mile 20, like 3. But somehow made it to the aid station. I don't even know how. I don't remember how. Probably a miracle. But I made it to the aid station, and I sat down, and I just stretched out my legs for a while, got some food, drank a ton of water and energy. I was like, okay, I feel replenished. I was ready to go. And then I left the aid station, and like 200 yards later, boom, 30-minute line to go down a ladder. I was like, what is this? I just waited. I just been in the aid station for 15 minutes, and now I gotta wait? So I get to the line. So what this is there's a slot canyon called Waterhole Canyon, and we had to go down a 50-foot ladder into the canyon, and it just got super backed up there with all the runners because it was 50 milers and 100 milers all going down the canyon, all going down the thing. So it was like, are you kidding me? So I had to sit there, and it starts raining, and I'm cold because I'm not running anymore. When I'm running, I'm not as cold, but when I'm just standing there, I got pretty cold, and it's raining harder. But I met a new guy. He was also running the 100. He was a dad, though. So we were like total opposites because he was a dad and I wasn't a dad. And it was cool to talk to him. He helped me a lot because he kept offering me a poncho, and I was like, no, I'm all right. Even though I wasn't. I was just being weird, I guess. But yeah, this guy, totally awesome. He wore a Christmas sweater. That was like his signature thing. He wore a Christmas sweater when he ran, which was absurd to me. But finally, after like 20 to 30 minutes, it was our turn to go down the ladder. So we went down the ladder and then started running through the canyon. Super cool, super pretty. Only problem is it was cold and rainy. And we finally got out of the canyon. And what had been like some rain through the entire trip just turned into a downpour. It was like, it's absolute nightmare. Like, my shirt is drenched. I'm drenched. I can't wear headphones because my ears are drenched. I was like, there's no way I can do 70 more miles of this. Like, I was like borderline, like, I'm gonna leave. I gotta quit at like mile 25. And that's a fourth of the race. But I got to mile 30, and at mile 30 was my dad, my mom, Jim, my uncle JR, my cousin Carson, and my cousin Brenner. They were all there waiting for me. It was super awesome. That was my whole crew. They were all there waiting for me. So I saw them. I hadn't seen my cousins in a while. I was like, yeah, let's go. Gave me some energy back. I was like, yeah. Took off my soaking wet shirt. Put on a nice warm sweater. Not sweater, but like a running jacket. Changed. I think I kept my shorts on because I was too lazy to change my pants right there. And I didn't want to. That'd be weird at an aid station to change my pants. So I hurried, put on the sweater, took my hat off, and I was like, I got this. Because now it's like 6 miles to the next aid station, and then we're just on the loop. We're just on the loop over and over and over again. So I was like, all right, I'm good. I got this. See you guys at that wherever that is, the loop. They're like, all right. So I left. I got some new food in me. I got some new energy. I'm just moving now, and I'm feeling good. The only problem is I don't have any music. But what happens? I catch back up to my buddy with the Christmas sweater, and we run for the next while. He's a super cool guy. He helped me because when I was hurting, he was like, "Okay, man, let's do this." And we kept going, and we ran together for those 6 miles. We ran together for like 8 miles. This man saved my life. And yeah, super awesome guy. I'll find him and I'll put him in the comments. This guy's, as they say, the GOAT. So, boom, we finally get to mile 38. It totally awesome. It's raining, but it's not like bad rain, and it's still raining, but it's not like a downpour. At least I think I know it was definitely a downpour. Yeah, okay, still a downpour, still raining, still soaked, but we got to the loop. That means now I get to run a loop with my dad, and I'm like, this is gonna rock. Well, not even 10 yards into the loop, it is just thick mud. What? At that moment, I realized I have 60 more miles of mud. And it was like, I was so mad. I was so stinking mad. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So me and my dad, we kind of just did like a walk-run thing through the mud. It's still raining hard. We didn't have any poles by then, so it's like, we gotta be careful not to slip. But we did it. And when we're running, there's like rivers, not like little streams that have become rivers because of all the rain, that it's borderline scary to cross them. So I was a little bit like, oof, especially after running 40 miles. You're like, am I in the right shape to be walking across this? Yeah, but we did. And we just do the loop. We finished the first loop with my dad. I'm covered in mud. It's like, this sucks. I'm cold. Finally, after that loop, it was game on. So I threw on my Alvin and the Chipmunks hoodie. It was clean, it was dry. Put on a poncho over that, and then put on my bag, and it was game time. We got some poles. We were like, it felt like an Iron Man suit up right there, because it was like unprepared, prepared. So suited up, and then me and my cousin, we were like, we went after it, and we flew as fast as you can fly after running, 48 miles. We went pretty fast, and we We ran where we could, but we didn't want to slip. My cousin slipped about 8 times, but I never slipped because I'm just a beast. I just got a better mindset than everyone else. But I never slipped. And me and my cousin, we just kept going. And we were passing people, we're talking to people. It's getting dark, so we got our headlamps on. And every time we get to an aid station, my whole crew was there ready for me, getting food, getting water. It's like, this is what I'm talking about. We got this. It's like 100 who, right? Like, I'd hit all the Grim Reaper times way ahead of them. Like, there was no chance I wasn't going to finish, even in these terrible conditions. Or so I thought. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. So me and my cousin kept going. And we'd done our first 5 miles, and we're doing our second 5 miles. And then about 100 yards, no, more than that, like the last mile before the main aid station, it's uphill, and it's super thick mud. I'm talking like at least 6 inches mud. So you cannot run through it, and you can barely walk through it. Total nightmare. But you got to do it. So we got our poles. We're just trekking through. It sucks. It's terrible. Mud's everywhere. I'm done. I'm tired. It's dark, so I'm starting to get a little tired. I'm starting to like not want to be there. Well, actually, that's not true. I didn't want to be there for a long time before that. But still, and me and my cousin are just moving. And we finally got through the mud. Well, not the mud, but we finally got through that portion of the really bad mud. Got to the aid station, and it was like, sweet, let's go. So we got to the aid station. Quick pit stop where I ate some food. I might have switched out my shoes then. I think I did. I switched out my shoes there to some road shoes I have, because I only had one pair of trail shoes. Switched to some road shoes because my trail ones were wrecked. They were muddy. They were been on my feet forever. I was like, okay, I'm done with these. Switched the shoes. Once again, Iron Man suit up. It was game on. And now I'm with my uncle JR, and it's like, this is going to be sweet. So that's what we do. We just start moving. It's totally dark by now, totally muddy. He hasn't ran in the mud yet. I've done 20 miles in mud. So we're on like mile 58. Like, we're flying. This totally rocks. So we start moving. We're going. And I kind of just like black out. We were talking the whole time. I kind of just don't like really remember much of it. And then a big surprise came at mile, you gotta give me a sec, mile like 63. At that aid station, halfway aid station, big surprise came. And you're gonna have to watch episode 2, part 2 of the 100-mile race recap next week if you want to know what the big surprise is. Boom. That's the end of this episode. Thank you all for tuning in, and enjoy the day.